La irrupción de las nuevas tecnologías ha supuesto un profundo cambio en todo lo que tiene que ver con el audiovisual y esto, por supuesto, le afecta también al Festival de Cine. Por eso llevamos ya varios años en los que nos planteamos hacer una sección dedicada al cine y a las nuevas tecnologías. Empezamos a hacerla cuando encontramos los aliados realmente buenos y necesarios. Por eso trabajamos junto a Tecnalia, junto a Bicontec, junto a Petronor, junto a Tabacalera a través de vídeo y junto a Europa Creativa.
Teknologia berriek eta eraldaketa digitalak aldaketa handiak ekarri dizkio zineari eta ikusentzunezko industriari orokorrean. Eta aldaketa horiek aztertzea eta aldaketa horiek ekar ditzaketen prozesu berriak eta negozio eredu berriak azaleraztea dira bideo Tabakalerako ikusentzunezko laborategiaren lanildo estrategikoetako bat. Zentzu horretan, Tabakalerak eta bere ikusentzunezko laborategiak bat egingo du, 3. urtez Zinemaldia Technology ekimenarekin.
Porque estamos viviendo unos cambios enormes en la industria y cambios que hacen más importantes que nunca el apoyar de una manera decisiva la innovación y los desarrollos tecnológicos.
Vivimos momentos de transformación, una transformación basada sobre todo en la irrupción de múltiples tecnologías digitales de frontera en diferentes sectores y, como no, el sector audiovisual es uno de ellos. Hablamos de tecnologías como blockchain, como la inteligencia artificial aplicada para la predicción, la prescripción, etc. Hablamos de temas como la IoT, hablamos de realidad virtual, mixta, aumentada, hablamos de múltiples tecnologías que están ya generando una transformación y un cambio en otros sectores y, como no, el audiovisual es un sector que puede aprovecharse de ello. Pero no solo aprovecharse de ello, sino también saber trasladar ese tipo de avances que se dan en el propio sector audiovisual a otros sectores como el de la salud, el de la industria, el de la energía, etc.
Estamos convencidos que el futuro de la industria va a pasar por una mayor utilización de los datos, por inventar nuevos modelos de negocio, por nuevos modelos de storytelling y por nuevos modos de promoción y marketing digital. Y todos estos cambios, todos pasan por una mayor adopción de nuevas tecnologías.
En ese sentido, no podíamos sino sumarnos a la iniciativa Zinemaldia Technology, liderada por el Zinemaldi, que va a tener lugar por 3er año consecutivo, y este año lo hacemos además con la vocación de trasladarlo también al resto del año para poder convertir tanto la marca Zinemaldia Technology como el propio laboratorio, ¿no?, en una referencia a la hora de analizar las nuevas tendencias en las nuevas tecnologías, ¿no?, aplicándolas al sector audiovisual.
El año pasado nació Zinemaldia Startup Challenge, que es una sección en la que intentamos combinar precisamente la innovación empresarial, los nuevos proyectos, con lo que sería la realidad del propio festival y de nuestro propio país, porque lo que intentamos es hacer una competición de proyectos que tienen que ver con los grandes temas de la innovación técnica y audiovisual actual, para que los ganadores puedan desarrollarlos, sus propias empresas, en la propia comunidad autónoma vasca.
Eusko Jaurlaritzatik Zinemaldia Startup Challenge ekimena sustatzen eta babesten dugu. Lehenengo eta behin, ekimen hau zinema munduko ekintzailetza bultzatzeko eta oro har ikus-entzunezko sektorea sendotzeko baliagarria ikusten dugulako. Bigarrenik, gaur egungo teknologia berriak ikus-entzunezko eta zinema industriarekin uztartzeko aukera oso egoki bat izan daitekelako. Eta hirugarrenik eta azkenik, Europa osoko talentu ekintzailea Euskadira erakartzea ahalbideratzen duelako.
La convocatoria de este año ha sido especialmente interesante, tanto o más como que la del año pasado, ya que se han presentado proyectos de gran valor y gran atractivo para el mundo audiovisual, con unos enfoques de mercado muy interesantes. Esperemos que la competición sea igual de reñida de lo que se espera y que gane el mejor.
Nosotros desde el programa Europa Creativa, pero también desde otros programas europeos, vamos a impulsar decididamente la experimentación con tecnologías como la realidad virtual, los datos y la blockchain. Y queremos desde aquí manifestar todo nuestro apoyo a todos estos emprendedores que están tomando riesgos para decidir y diseñar el futuro de la industria audiovisual.
Este año hemos seleccionado 5 proyectos de España, Noruega, Reino Unido y Alemania, que tratan temas muy diferentes como el Big Data, como el blockchain, como la inteligencia artificial o como desarrollos diferentes para teléfonos móviles.
Hello everyone and welcome to Zinemaldia Technology at the Festival of San Sebastian 2020. I'm AC Coppens, founder of The Catalyst, an agency to boost the players between technology, innovation and creative content. And that's why I was invited to accompany you for this program today. And basically, as new technology emerged, the audiovisual sector continues to change. Initiatives, we heard that just now, blockchain, virtual reality, mixed reality, neurotechnology, language technologies, they are all finding their way to film, and they create maybe also a different narrative and new business opportunities. The San Sebastian Festival seeks to position itself as a benchmark space for technological and audiovisual innovation, and Zinemaldia Technology is the way in. So you are invited to, and to discover these new innovative projects, we've prepared for you a specific selection from the Zinemaldia Startup Challenge, intended for entrepreneurs and startups. And the 5 finalist projects will defend their proposals to a jury, and we will get to know who the winner is tonight, at the end of the day at 8. But stay tuned, because after the pitches, we have a masterclass about the future of sound with the heavily rewarded sound designer Mark Orts, a review of cinema and the sound of cinema from the beginning until the eruption technologies will be the core of his masterclass. So stay tuned later on, 11:15, he will be there. But let's start. And first, let me introduce you to the jury and the experts. The jury, who will decide who the winner is, are Vanessa Ruiz Larrea. She is in charge for sales, marketing and communication as a director of Deluxe in Spain. She has been with Deluxe for more than 10 years. Her background is in production management. Hello, Vanessa. Nice to see you. Josiane Rodriguez is the manager of Allergy, a private association with over 35 years of experience promoting business activities. So we have the business specialist here too. Hey, Josiane. And we have Francesco D'Andrea, head of new media, edge and software technologies at ARI Research and Innovation at Atos. He's an electronic engineer with over 15 years working experience at the scientific areas that include media, gamification technologies, high performance middleware for distributed system, cloud computing, SOA, QA. Okay, I leave it here, but he has a large experience in software and R&D projects. So I think that's going to be a good point of view on the science point. So that was the jury. Hey, Francesco. So let's go now to the experts. We have 3 experts here too. We have Marta Gonzalez. She's a commercialization specialist at Tecnalia and also very knowledgeable in the semantic fields. Marta Gonzalez will be sharing her expertise in commercialization. We have Maria Teresa Nilnaza, Director of Institutional Development and Promotion, Vincomtech. She's a long-time collaborator of San Sebastian, and she will be adding to the conversation her expertise on business development. And last but not least, we have Tristan Scheden. He's a consultant in representation of the SPRI, Basque Government Agency. And well, he knows what strategy and entrepreneurship means. So I think we are all set. We have really great experts. I would say we don't wait. We go straight to the pitches, and we'll start with CineSmart and Josep Molin and Daniel Zacharias. It's about advert gaming, neuromarketing, nifty word combination. But do they work, and how do they work? CineSmart lets the audience interact with the big screen. Let's have a look at the pitch.
First of all, on behalf of the whole CineSmart team, I would like to thank the San Sebastian Film Festival for this great opportunity. As you know, CineSmart is an advert gaming-based real-time advertising platform. Advert gaming is the fusion of the words advertising and gaming. The concept is, whilst we are playing and having a good time, we are far more receptive to advertising impacts. Zinesmart converts any body waiting time into an interactive experience, offering advertisers the perfect environment to launch their campaigns. Zinesmart allows many different marketing supports such as coupons, surveys, videos, and rewards. All of them are fully brand customizable. Zinesmart is fully TMS compatible and DCI network integrable. Every company knows they have to be present in the digital world, but the truth is a lot of them still don't know how. How can I get useful data from my customers without being aggressive? How can I use this data to improve the relationship with my customers? Zinesmart's idea followed numerous meetings with film exhibitors, brands, and media agencies in order to solve their needs. They all expressed their concern about the emergence of the VOD platforms and the decreasing of the attendance and advertising revenues in the film industry. Nowadays, technology allows almost anybody to be connected 24 hours a day, thanks to our smartphones. The improvements in wireless technologies and the mass installation of screens around us makes the implementation of Zinesmart a reality. The Zinesmart server processes all players' actions and sends a signal to the big screen. When a game finishes, the winning players are directly notified on their smartphones, and prizes can be redeemed instantly. Zinesmart installation is fast and simple, and only needs an internet connection and a Wi-Fi spot. All the contents are managed through our backend in the cloud, in real time. Zinesmart's main innovation is that it allows us to digitalize any space on the cinema premises, capturing big data through the users' smartphones. Zinesmart is a powerful marketing tool that helps the exhibitors to get to know their audience, promote early arrivals, increase loyalty and attendance, increase advertising and retail revenues, plan new strategies based on real-time data, helps brands to offer a totally new brand experience, promote a real consumption of the advertising campaigns, analyze real metrics of their campaigns, improve the relationship with the final customer, maximize their marketing strategies based on data, helps the filmmakers and production companies to receive direct feedback from filmgoers, adapt their content based on that feedback, plan future marketing and merchandising campaigns, and also allows the final user to become the main character on the big screen, have fun in a moment of boredom, win prizes and discounts, feel relaxed through advertising. Zinesmart is the ideal entertainment and loyalty system for cinema exhibitors and advertisers. Zinesmart's main goal is to help the film industry to offer new experiences to the filmgoers, to make them come back to the cinema. To do that, we believe that it's essential to have real data from customers to offer them the best content and experience possible based on their own preferences. All data is accessible through our front end in real time. Each client has a different profile, accessing only their own data and KPI reports. We really hope that you have found Zinesmart as exciting as us and help us to make it a reality. Thanks for your time.
Well, thank you very much, Zinesmart, for this presentation. I will give now the opportunity to an expert, Marta Gonzalez, to give some feedback and maybe ask questions, and you are ready to answer. So, Marta, the floor is yours.
Okay, I'm going first to give feedback and then I will just ask for something. Okay, for me, Zinesmart is a good team. They have a very innovative product and a product close to market. Zinesmart is linked to the uncertainty of public attendance in cinemas, while it offers a differential factor with respect to home streaming and helping to differentiate film exhibition companies as well as advertisers. But Cinesmart's success is directly proportional to the future of cinemas. Perhaps one could think about what will happen to the app when the user leaves the cinemas, but without overwhelming the user. The key is the continuous design of new games, and the business model should be highly tied with innovative engagement with advertisers and film exhibition companies. And now my question to Dani Zacarias. As possible entry channels, film exhibition companies or advertisers, it seems you have selected to directly address film exhibition companies. Why not advertisers? Or perhaps the entry channel should be a mix of both worlds. How are you going to manage this?
Kaixo, Egunon, thanks for your question. Well, the first thing is that we integrate exhibitors, advertising companies, and media agencies, that's for sure. Also, about what you said about what happens out of the cinema, there's a part on the app that you can consume trailers, advertising, and contents that they give you points, but those points only they are useful when you go to the cinema to play again. So our main idea is that the consumption of the advertising out of the cinema gives you bonuses and couponing to come back to the cinema. That's the main thing. And also, the important thing, while the main audience is having fun and they are not bored waiting or they are not entering to the cinema to consume that advertising, that is what is happening now, we are promoting early arrivals. And while people are having fun, the exhibitor, the media agencies, they are getting big data to analyze who is consuming those advertisings.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, wonderful. I just want to ask maybe a member of the jury, Vanessa, would you like to have a remark or a little question? We still have 2 minutes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Daniel, for your presentation. I understand that the client of your solution is the exhibitor by subscription payment, and he will generate revenues through the brand's agreements. I clearly see the benefits for exhibitors, brands, and customer experience on the theaters. Could you give us more detail about the benefits you mentioned for filmmakers and production companies? Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Thanks for your question, Vanessa. After several meetings with production companies and also majors from United States, they are explaining us that, for example, in the next James Bond film, they are filming like 3 different endings, and they are doing focus groups in different cinemas. So from that, with Cinesmart, you can ask directly to the moviegoers, what do you prefer if you think that is a good idea to be in the next film of James Bond to be a woman, or if you prefer aspects, you can ask the audience different aspects about the content. And as you know, the trailers are in 6 months in advance, so they have enough time to correct that, or the content, or merchandising campaigns, or any other questions that brands or production company, they want to ask to the moviegoers. So this is in real time. So after a session in the cinema, all the big data is available on through our backend anywhere in the world. So that's really powerful information.
Wonderful. Thank you very much to all for this first speech. We go on to the second pitch. It will be now Film Chain, founded by Maria Tangiala and Irina Albeta. I see them everywhere in different festivals. They are really like on it. And they support film, TV, and content stakeholders with a transparent and efficient solution to access their money and data. I would love to know more about this. I know it has to do with blockchain, and there is artificial intelligence in it, and real-time performance data and analytics. Let's have a look at the pitch of Film Chain.
Hello, I'm Maria, the co-founder of Film Chain. And today, I will tell you about the innovative solution that we built in order to collect, track, and allocate revenues for all of the stakeholders in the film and TV industries worldwide. We're powered by the Ethereum blockchain that records the financial transactions, provides transparency, and builds trust. Backed by Innovate UK Imperial College, in 2020, we have joint journeys with Hearst Media as an investor and strategic advisor. We're talking about 60,000 productions that annually need financial transparency. We empower the stakeholders to access their money and data. We only work with trusted banking partners to operate trusted bank accounts and do not use any cryptocurrency. We only involve the technology behind Ethereum and smart contracts. You have seen so many films doing great in box office, but the people have never been paid. Why is that? Money is lost to human error, opaque accounting, and sometimes this manual work delays payments for years. Be it exhibitor, distributor, or sales agent, so many companies complain that they lack the infrastructure and essentially the resources in order to process a fragmented management of rights, all of these payments going around the world with slow and opaque reporting and accounting. The stakeholders, such as the producers, the investors, the banks, they cannot even verify these receipts and sometimes wait for years to get paid. These legal contracts are conflicting and expensive. And so many times the receipts are simply not matching what they were expecting. So by using Film Chain, a film can make additionally 2.8 million euros. How is that? We automate business logic, we bring transparency in these real-time payments, offering on-demand reports and performance insights. You can calculate your marketing spend based on real data that we gather from all of distributors worldwide. We empower the stakeholders to manage their money, their reports, and their rights. It has never been easier to verify any transaction coming in, and if no disputes are claimed, then in a few days, you're just getting money as little as 20 euros in your own bank account. The data analysis enables us to, first of all, to identify the best territories, the best channels of distribution, but also predict revenues in months to come. These 60,000 productions, they generate over 300 billion in euros. And these stakeholders need to access their money. Our fees are very easy to understand. 1% commission and decreasing based on volume, and an onboarding fee of 3,000 euros. We never take fees for reports, and as many beneficiaries, like hundreds of beneficiaries, can access their money daily. We operate in the UK and Europe, and we have seen a lot of support from a lot of the Spanish-speaking productions. We have a successful co-production mantra. We have an employee in Spain, and we can't wait to develop synergies with public financiers as well as award-winning production companies in the Basque Country. We have clients that spread all over the UK, Europe, Australia, Canada, Israel. We're talking about amazing backing from Eurimage, from HBO, from Screen Australia, and Oscar-nominated productions are using the platform end-to-end. We're two co-founders, a match of film backgrounds, which is myself, and Irina's amazing background in technology, mathematics, and governance. The former head of Apple iTunes is our strategic advisor, and professors, executive directors from Warner Bros, and amazing team members that are helping us every day deliver money to stakeholders around the world, a legal team of experts and film accountants too. It's amazing to win awards, including the Startup of the Year, but also to be nominated Game Changer at Screen Awards and to be South by Southwest Pitch finalist in 2020. We believe that this industry needs better processes. Our platform has been used around the world. And like never before, people need to access their money and data. Let's make a fairer, more transparent industry together. Thank you very much.
Yes, women power. Here we go. The pitch was fantastic. Let's go. And I would like to give the floor to an expert. And this time I'd like to ask Tristan Schellen to join and give feedback, ask a question to Maria. Here you go, Tristan.
Good morning, everyone. Hello, Maria. First of all, congratulations for your pitch. Great startup with a great team and big clients. And I really like how your innovative solution makes the financial side of the filmmaking easier and efficient and provides transparency and increase the stakeholders' revenue. So congrats. I think that you will make a positive impact on the industry. But my question is related to the data features of the platform. Could you give us some examples of the performance insight and KPIs available on the platform? And if you could give us a brief explanation how revenue prediction works. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Tristan. It's a pleasure to be here, and actually with conversations that we had on the ground here in San Sebastian, it's amazing to meet so many people on the ground hungry for data and hungry for innovation. We operate as a trust party. We bring this transparency and we make sure that we build trust among the stakeholders through this transparent and automatic processes. When we open a bank account for each and individual film, which has its own IBAN, we collect all the revenues coming in from around the world. This is an amazing opportunity for us in order to understand exactly how that production is performing in a small VOD platform in Israel, with a broadcaster in Canada, with SVOD platform in Australia. And we collect those revenues in real time and match them with the rights management tracker that we have built. So we're able to analyze these insights that come straight through the bank accounts and combined with historical data sets which we have gathered, we're able to put things into perspective. So first of all, the KPIs are the real-time information, the financial information which we're getting about the film, and we understand where the film is performing best. What are the best channels of distribution? We can literally advise the sales agents, the distributors, to make new sales, to unlock new territories. If you see that the film is performing very well in Austria, you can sell it in Germany because these are territories with similar features. But also with historical data and real-time data, we also built predictions for the future. So with our ML and AI algorithms with hundreds of variables which we have put in place right now, we're able to say how much the film will generate in the first 12 months, for how long it will stay in cinemas, how many new cinemas will pick it up according to the first release, and a lot of kind of very, very exciting information which we're constantly testing with our clients. What do they want to know?
That's great. And now we still have 2 little minutes for Francesco, our jury member. Please, Francesco, if you have a remark.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning. First of all, Maria, thank you so much for the pitch. It has been very, very interesting. I have the feeling that film chain is, in the end of the day, a financial solution. And on the other hand, there are 100+ blockchain solutions for managing economic transactions. So I don't really understand what is new in this solution with regards the media market. So my question is really clear. What is the unique benefit your solution brings to the media market?
Thank you, Francesco. I very much appreciate your background in technology. We definitely found this as a very strong fintech solution applied to a niche industry. When we built this with support from Imperial College London and their technology department, as well as University of Toronto, we were really at the forefront of innovation. There weren't many fintech solutions that were using the blockchain ledger in order to automate business logic and to create these payments in real time. We have the insights. I'm a producer. I have been dealing with collection account management agreements and with complex contracts, legal contracts in this industry for over a decade. I know exactly how these fragmented landscapes of stakeholders need to get paid, and I know the pain points of the industry as well as what the behaviors are from the clients, the resistance from other incumbents, and so on. In order to achieve a successful solution and to be the go-to player in an industry, you need industry insights. So what we have built with FilmChain is this automatic payment system, as exactly you have mentioned, a fintech solution that at the same time governs all these stakeholders, bearing in mind their behaviors, their legal contracts, their disputes, and their historical slate of productions that have been made over a century.
Good, very good. So I don't want to have any minute more for any of the candidates. So you made it perfect. Fantastic. We can move on. Thank you, Maria. Thank you, Francesco. Thank you also, Tristan. And then we will go further with La Quinta Pared, the fifth wall. I heard about the fourth wall, but now the fifth wall. Here we go. Nicolas Britos, Maximiliano Monzon, and Pedro Hernandez have been doing this. And did you ever wanted to be a protagonist of a movie? Well, La Quinta Pared might have found just the way you're looking for to let you experience your wish through your phone. Let's have a look at what they do.
We are living in the era of video on demand, online video streaming platforms that concentrate the largest explosion of audiovisual content in history. The fifth wall is a solution to the need to find a differential that stands out from one another. It is a technological device that interacts synchronously with the main screen, opening a new narrative dimension. For example, transforming the spectator's mobile phone into the phone of the main character of the story. Let's imagine a woman looking for her missing father. A man invites her to a bar to give her information. As soon as she finds him, the woman receives a message. On the main screen, we see that she reads it, turns a little pale, and continues talking, but we have her phone, and there we can read the message. Don't believe a word he says. This man killed your father. We can also see the apps the character uses, the photos and videos they make, and even listen to the conversations they have. Everything in real time.
Rozumiem. Jeśli nie ma zagrożenia, to proszę podejść do poszkodowanej i sprawdzić.
Even when the main narrative is paused between episodes, the phone remains the character's phone and can be browsed and investigated by the viewer. Photographs, emails, social networks, everything is within reach of the construction of the narrative universe. This is just a fragment of the possibilities offered by the fifth wall. But it also opens new doors for connectivity with social media, or even for users to buy whatever products they see on the screen. For us, the most important thing is that these new narrative tools will be limited only by the talent and imagination of the creators.
We consider two main exploitation windows of this model. First of all, the pay-per-project model. In this first model, we focus on the audiovisual production companies. Companies that want to put a distinction stamp to their projects, powered by the fifth wall. Hand by hand with the production company, and from a very early stage, our team will start to generate distinctive value content to provide to that specific project. Content to which every viewer will be able to access exclusively through the app. A quality stamp that will enable a perfect positioning. Secondly, the pay-per-user model. In this case, it is the platform the one who pays for the service offered to its customers. The fifth wall becomes an overall solution for a specific audiovisual concept. The fifth wall team analyze the project, advise, propose, and generate specific content for the application on a secondary screen. This data triangulation will be fully managed by the fifth wall team with a 24/7 support. Will allow the platform to easily scale the project based on the demand. In both cases, creativity is the key. Creativity is the key element of the fifth wall app. But there is much more. An exploitation window suitable with the previous two is the possibility of interacting with what we see on screen. Give the viewer the option to buy in real time whatever they see and want. Do you like Don Draper's shoes, Lara Croft swords? Do you want a Baby Yoda doll? Or Juno's phone shaped like a hamburger? If you are looking at it, it's just a click away. And last but not least, what to say about the possibilities of the big data? Knowing the audience behaviors allows you to offer them the content they really want, going ahead their wishes. Getting a better position to negotiate with advertisers can now be achieved with the fifth wall app. The fifth wall, a window to the future.
Excellent. Creativity is the key. I love that. I really love that. So let's see if experts and jury also love that and have further questions about this. And I would like to give the floor to Maria Teresa Linazza. Please ask your question and let's go.
Okay, many thanks, Pedro, for the presentation. Really nice. We really, the three of us, loved your project. However, there are some questions, and they are mainly related to the lack of data you provided about how contents are created and how the technical stuff is working. And we would like to know a little bit more about this, because we think maybe the business model underestimates the resources needed because we didn't have this information. So please, if you can provide us some hints about the technical development, it would be great. Thank you.
Well, thank you for having us. It's a pleasure, and congratulations for the rest of the teams, because they are amazing projects, and I think they are a bit more professional than us, but we have all the passion with this La Quinta Pared. The technological part, I think it's not that complicated. It's just synchronizing our second screen, which is a mobile, to the first screen through the sound. And this is already done. This is done from a long time ago. But we do think through this connection, through this synchronizing, now we open huge possibilities for the user. I think it's easy. So it's easier for me to explain why we arrived here. We arrived here while we were developing a TV series called Nada, and the main character, a female character, has somehow, she needs her mobile phone. And she used it as a second memory because she had some confusion stages. So she needs to record everything through her mobile. So once we were developing this TV series, we thought,
okay, what if the spectator, if the audience can connect directly to her mobile, can see whatever happens to her mobile in synchronized to the chapter, and not through this we think, okay, and being synchronized with the chapter, it allows you to investigate all the world, what the people is thinking about that chapter, not for the general TV series. Well, to the clues, some clues that the production company may keep secret for the users, not for the general audience. So, well, we thought it was a real window to the future for the audience.
Very good. A real window to the future. That's great. I would like to give the opportunity also to Roshan Rodriguez, maybe to add a comment or a question. Please, Roshan, go on. You have to unmute yourself.
Maureen, it's okay? It's fine?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, thanks for your presentation. I quite agree with Teresa has said, since I'm not very sure that I have understood your value proposition and the problem opportunity you solve. So let me be straightforward, asking you about the KPIs that you have achieved so far, and the metrics, like the metrics you guys have pulled off, and particularly how big is the users community you've built up through the app, and as a result, how is the turnover achieved so far?
And this in 2 minutes, please, not more.
Well, I think I'm not I have two more partners that are more like technology, with more technology background, okay? We do know the technology is already solved. This is not the problem. The problem is give the user a real useful content or a different content. So giving the audience a different content makes this production, whether if it's a film or if it's a TV series, gives it like a quality stamp. So we can nowadays that we have millions of content to see. The most important thing is to give a differentiation to each one. No, so we think La Quinta Pared, through all the content that we can produce for this specific project, may make this difference.
Very good. Thank you very much to all of you. Roshan, Maria Teresa, and you also, of course, Pedro. And we will move on with the next speech, and it is called Promo Me. I would say the title is telling us something. It is a project by Michael Moss and Louis Julien, and they are using AI, machine learning, and claim to open up the way for future new processes and services when it comes to video processing. Let's check that out. Thank you.
Hello everyone and welcome. I'm Michael Moss, co-founder and CEO of PromoMe, and I'm on the mission to give people back their time. Let's talk about time. We kill time, we save time, we rob and get robbed of time, we lose time, and we have all the time in the world. But no one is powerful enough to stop the flow of time or slow it down. Is it something far beyond our control? In fact, no. While we cannot influence the flow of time, we still can get the most out of it. Becoming a wise time manager sometimes is similar to mastering sorcery, but the results are worth the effort. And currently there is a lot of creatives and storytellers, video editors and non-professionals in the world that are spending days on video editing, a lot of time on manual video searches for scenes when they edit or make short clips, which makes the cost of finished video in a range of 500 euros to 5,000 euros or above. And as Benjamin Franklin said, time is money. Now we live in a world where more and more content is being created, and more players are entering the market, competing now for your time, which puts even more time pressure on creatives to deliver the material. But imagine if a video could be created and edited for 30 euro in minutes.
My name is Louis Julien.
I am the Global Key Account Director for PromoMe. Our AI-driven platform, Nova, takes that manual and labor-intensive editing pain away from you and allows you to save time. Nova does this by processing your video content like in Ford versus Ferrari and automatically creates personalized clips. Not one, but potentially many in minutes. Nova allows you to quickly add cool transitions, subtitles, and much more. For instance, you can search for anything within your videos, may it be a person, an object, a phrase, or even a scene.
Already trusted by some professionals, we are now also working on a European collaboration involving some of the national channels to build this technology together with them and help them save time.
And now, as we are almost out of time, let us show you what our product Nova can do. For the movie Ford vs Ferrari, we've generated 2 different versions of video clips aimed towards 2 different audiences. If you're a Matt Damon fan, you should see this trailer.
Take my hand. Oh, God! We're gonna build the next one for comfort, don't you worry. You ready?
And on the other hand, if you're a Christian Bale fan, you should see this trailer.
Are you nuts?
So now let's just get all of this junk out. What are they doing? Making your car faster. Oh shit! Let's just rip out the damn engine.
So, who would you rather have as a driver? And if you would like to learn more, please do come and talk to us. Thank you.
Well, obviously, I love this project because I'm obsessed with time. I am the Chief Time Officer here. So let's go and move on to the question and answer with Maria Teresa Linaza for Michael Moss. Go, go, go.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Michael. This was really funny. Okay, we'd like to congratulate you as well for your project. I think it's a very nice approach to reduce costs while creating clips. And here is our question. It's a more technical one, and is how is the content labeled? I mean, a huge invest should be done in labeling the content, so you get this metadata and all this stuff to personalize the contents. How will it be sustainable in the future? Because you offer now a manual service, but this is unsustainable for the future. So how do you see the future? Thank you.
Thank you, Maria Teresa. Thank you, everyone, for inviting us. And thank you for your question. So the content is tagged completely automatic for different tracks, all from the facial recognition, celebrity recognition, your own collection recognition, transcription, voice to text. We cut the videos into different shots. You know, as an editor, you want to typically cut on the shots and not when the scenes change, but when the camera angle changes. So all of that is done manually. We keep adding new and more concepts, like now we're working on the love scenes or maybe some conceptual scenes that can't be directly recognized. So it's not a cop, it's not a watch, it's not a something specific, it's not a Brad Pitt, but more like, oh, it's a love scene, or it's a family scene together, or it's an aerial view, or it's a romantic scene. So that is also something we're constantly teaching our machine. Besides, we're creating a technology where a user can group his own labels or objects, or label or match his own things that he values. So a creator or an editor can personalize the software to his needs in the future. But it's all done automatically. There's no tagging done manually.
Okay, thank you, Michael. We still have 2 minutes for Francesco D'Andrea to tell you more.
Yeah. Thank you.
Good morning, Michael.
Morning.
First of all, I mean, the pitch has been great, but a bit weird, to be honest. Maybe because the video was shorter than others, or because you introduced a lot of time, the point, save time, time is money, and etc. etc. What is missed to me indeed is the innovation, the technological innovation of your solution, that I'm sure that there are a lot of innovations in your product, but it's not visible to me, at least in this video. So going to the question, I would like to know one competitor of PromoMe, the unique selling point of PromoMe, and the main innovation behind this unique selling point.
Thank you for your question. There are several competitors trying to kind of innovate the space with computer vision to make the life of an editor easier. I can mention one big platform like Netflix that using the same technology to populate all of their feed with a lot of videos. I don't have exact number, but it's around 80–90% of all the previews you see on Netflix, for example, is made by their own machine that they've built in-house. There are a few startups as well that's trying to do the same. What we do best, we build the technology in-house, and we're trying to solve that not just to one group, but across several groups. And it doesn't have to be a professional. We try to build it for non-professionals as well. Meaning, if you don't need any clips, but you just need to make all of your content searchable. So it's like Google, where you go in and in your archive, you can search, where is Brad Pitt? Where is Brad Pitt sitting in a car with a gun smiling, for example? And our machine can automatically show you the video and exact timestamps where that happens. So that deep tech kind of analyzing the computer vision is something very innovative. And additionally, if a non-professional colleague sitting in a marketing department needs a quick clip for his social media, he doesn't now have to bother his creative department and ask for these scenes. And that goes beyond as well for a mass market product that we're about to launch. Imagine a mom creating a small clip for her birthday child, and she wants to create like 2-3 video kind of put together in a 20 seconds clip. And she does it by a flip of the switch, uploading all the content she has, and let the machine populate her different kind of videos with her son, and she will put a little text around it.
You have 10 seconds left.
So that's, I think, kind of, you can't put enough of this technology, of course, in 5 minutes pitch. So we try to focus on more visual effects and more of a concept of time. But if somebody's sitting and editing, as you just said, they know how much time it takes, and they sit overnight, and it takes days, and it's really painful process. So we decided to focus on that in our pitch.
Thank you very much, Michael. Thank you, Francesco.
Thank you so
Maria.
much.
I'm sorry, I know also what time is, I said, and I have to cut because I need to be fair to everybody and all the pitches. Thank you. You just manage it, and we move on. It has also to do with time. And the visualists are going to tell us more about how to potentially save valuable time. And they will probably answer the question, why do a task when you can automate it? Let's have a look how they do that.
Video consumption around the world is growing, and with it, the need to moderate and adjust it is also growing. Hi, my name is Miguel Silva. I'm the founder and CEO of Visualist. We're a technology startup looking to enhance the audiovisual analysis of video material and being able to provide tools that are helpful during the review process. We took a look at the way that video today is produced and distributed around the world, and we noticed that there's very specific instances in which a team will need to review it in order to assess its suitability for a given audience. Particularly editorial review teams, they will take a look at source films and source material, and they will make small adjustments to it based on the regulation that is present in a given market. And we noticed that that process today was very manual, and that process today was very prone to mistakes, in which many things were getting missed. Things like the adequate level of nudity, what is appropriate, not appropriate, violence checks, the brands that appear on the video, Is there an issue with that brand? Is that the brand that we need to have an agreement with, etc., etc.? So what we're doing is we're making a tool that is going to allow these teams to work a lot more efficiently than they do today by bringing the entire process to the cloud and by pre-populating the analysis and showing scenes that may be problematic within the tool. On top of that, we provide collaboration framework. Let me show you how the tool works. The first thing that I do is open up my favorite browser and log into our tool. Once I'm logged in, I get into my dashboard, where I can see notifications for events that I need to look at, as well as other useful information. Over time, this dashboard is going to develop into being a very colorful tool that provides very good information onto compliance teams. The first place to start is by creating a digital policy. A digital policy is just a place where you organize your visual searches. Let's say that you are working with material that has some amount of nudity, and you want to distribute in a country where nudity is a little bit regulated for different age groups. What you do then is you create a policy that searches for specific types of nudity, whether it's full nudity, whether it's soft nudity, whether it might be violence, if that's another aspect you want to look at, whether it's alcohol detection, whether it's cigarette detection, etc., etc. Policies can be created for specific audiences, like a child-friendly policy. It can be created for specific brands. It can be created for a given geographical market. Once you've created your digital policies, you can upload assets onto our system. An asset is just a video that is of any length, whether it's a full featured film or whether it's an episode of a given series that is transparent to us. Once uploaded, you're able to see the status, whether it's uploaded but not yet analyzed, and you're able to trigger an analysis based on a given policy that you've already created, or you're able to see the results of an analysis that has already taken place. Once you've run an analysis, you're able to open up the assets, and we've pre-populated all sorts of different events for that particular asset. You're able to review each and every event based on the category of the policy in question, and you're able then to do the compliance work. Mark it as either a compliance scene in the video, an event that we've detected, delete it if you feel that it's a false positive, a small mistake done by the artificial intelligence, or mark it as non-compliant if it's something that later editorial teams are going to have to review, blur out, or change in one way, shape, or form in order to make the asset compliant to the given market. Once everything is done, you're finished reviewing your asset, you're able to generate a report. But a very cool feature that I'd like to show you is the collaboration. For all of these events that we've detected, which you're able to sort in many different ways, in the confidence levels, the status of the event, or the owner of the event, you're also able to add comments. This needs to be reviewed. For example, and not only are you able to do that, but you're able to assign a different user to take a look at it. Now I've assigned the user Odin to take a look at this event. He will receive a notification on his dashboard and is able to come in and see exactly what is happening in this scene and be able to complement my comments with his own comments, etc., etc. All of this gets documented, and all of this will appear then in your compliance notes and in the report that you generate at the end of the process. So that is a very brief look at the tool. We look forward to helping the industry produce more and better video than ever before.
Excellent. So, valuable time. Let's go. Marta Gonzalez, it's your turn to ask Miguel Angel Silva, please.
Okay. Hello, Miguel. Thank you for your pitch. Okay, we all agree that analyzing international film compliance is a very, very tedious process. But I think that the technology behind the product is not enough detail. I would like to know, do you have metrics or they achieve precision while automatically looking for events in scenes or audio?
Yes, hi Marta. Thank you very much for the question. That's a very important point. Actually, accuracy is paramount to make this type of technology work. We have definitely done metrics analysis, and one of the values of working with a startup like Visualis is that we're always going to be focusing on that. There's very large companies that are committed to making this technology work. Companies with names such as Google, such as Amazon, such as Microsoft, such as IBM. They all offer different APIs for this type of technology, for developers to make products like the ones that we have made. Of course, all of them are looking to be the default engine. All of them are looking to improve on their accuracy. And we're always going to be benchmarking. We're always going to be including the best in breed process for whatever it is the detections that we're trying to make. And on top of that, we're also training models that are more specific to compliance.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so do we have maybe further ideas, input, questions? Vanessa Ruiz Larrea?
Yes, thank you, Miguel, for your pitch. To understand how the solution can fit inside the production workflow and deadlines of each process, for which phase of the production process is it designed most effectively? It should be in a primary state of editing, which may allow more options for correcting problems, either refilming or re-editing or post-production processes. Is it right?
Yes, Vanessa, that's also a very good point. When we were validating the idea for this product, we went out and we talked to a lot of people in the value chain. We talked to studios, we talked to distributors, we talked to regulators, we talked to broadcasters for the case of TV as well. And what we found is that compliance isn't one thing, it's many different things. So we needed to focus and choose just one aspect to begin with. So we're beginning with editorial compliance. And we did find out also that it's something that isn't, that it's a process that has to be done pretty much at all levels, but it slightly differentiates at every aspect of the level. To some extent, at the production level, people don't really worry about the applicability of the movie across the world, but they do worry about the applicability to as much part of the world as possible. So they do small compliance reviews that are able then to make the asset more acceptable wherever it might be that it may be sold or distributed. At the distribution level, they certainly worry about this. No, they're the ones that are actually on the firing line from the regulators or from the audience. Basically, their brands are the ones that are at stake. So that is where the process more naturally or more heavily falls into place, I would say. But that doesn't exclude other parts of the value chain from doing the process as well. And one of the advantages of moving everything to the cloud is that it makes it collaborative. It makes it accessible from anywhere in the world. Even now in the middle of a pandemic, you could be sitting in your living room and accessing the material and doing the compliance work. And it makes it then useful for all of us to communicate and collaborate in one place.
Okay. Wow. Well, these already the final words for the pitches. This is crazy. That went really fast. Thank you so much to everyone who has been pitching, giving feedback, giving insights, asking the right question. Thank you so much to all of you. And it was wonderful. And it was all about the future, which is actually happening now, as we saw at the Saint-Bastien Film Festival. We heard a lot about technology. We checked what was really innovative, but also business models, and most of all, how value propositions bring possibilities for the users and advantages for clients. And for all of this, we heard creativity is key. So now what's going to happen is we're going to have a 10-minute break. So take a glass of water, pick up your headphones, be back on time at 11:15 sharp to not miss the masterclass about the future of sound with the heavily awarded sound designer Mark Orts, who has won Goya Awards for Best Sound 5 times. I'm just saying Pedro Almodóvar, Daniel Monson, Jaume Balaguerro, Bayona, etc., etc. Don't miss it. And don't forget, the Industry Awards announcement will take place tonight at 8 so that we know what happened with the pitches. Who won, and it will be broadcasted online on the festival TV. So stay tuned, take a break. I will take a big breath too. And I also want to know who won tonight. So I will see you later. Take a break. It is 11 and 7 minutes. I would say 11:17. We're all back on time. Be sharp on time. Thank you very much. See you in a sec. Hello and welcome back. I am AC Coppens, founder of The Catalyst, and I'm still your host to go on after the great pitches of Zinemaldia Technology. We still stay in the field of technology, and we will go this time more into the sound field. And we have here with us Mark Orts, and he will talk about the constant evolution of sound technology from reproduction systems for cinema to those for audiovisual consumptions at home. And this masterclass is part of the Zinemaldia Technology Initiative, which has been backing of the backing of Creative Europe Media. And this masterclass is also included in Thought and Discussion, an umbrella for activities promoting discussion on the cinema from an industrial, creative, and vocational point of view. It includes conversations, masterclasses like today, which I'm going to introduce in a second, and interviews, because after the masterclass, I have the honor to interview a little bit more Mark. So this series includes conversation, as said, and masterclasses during the festival days. And the area runs throughout the year also at the Elias Querereta Cine Escola. One of the results of the collaboration with the Elias Querereta Cine Escola is the research project Zinemaldia 70 with all possible stories. So this was a little bit of context. Why are we here? Where does it come from? And now back to Mark Orts. Let me introduce you to him. He's head sound recording mixer at Deluxe in Spain, meaning creative director of sound at Deluxe. He has won the Goya Award for Best Sound, as I said before, 5 times, and has worked for directors such as Bayona, Almodóvar, Monzón, Balagueros, and he has been working more than 170 films, and I don't even know the last exact stand. I have to ask him. Among which Lo Imposible de Bayona, Dolor y Gloria, La Pel que Habito de Pedro Almodóvar, Rec de Balaguero, Regresión de Amenábar. I could go on and go on and go on. He also participated in the creation of InSound, which is the precursor of Dolby Atmos, which was absorbed by Dolby. And he's also a professor at the ESCAC and the ECAM, and is a member of the Hollywood Film Academy. His masterclass, entitled Audiovisual Sound from its Origins until Full Immersive, taking place now, we look at the evolution of sound technology and the process of creating a soundtrack, depending on its reproduction format. So we will have a look at this together with Mark. He will approach the process of creating a soundtrack based on its playback format, doing a brief review of all of them, from Dolby through Atmos until full immersive. So pick up your headphones, be ready to hear this. This is going to be fascinating. Mark, I would say the floor is yours, but before you start, I have just a first question, because you've worked in over 170 films. Which one was for you the most interesting to work sonically on, and why?
Hola, buenos días. Me voy a expresar en español. Básicamente te entiendo a la perfección, pero mi inglés es bastante malo para que me entienda todo el mundo. Pues básicamente de las películas podríamos poner 4 o 5 películas muy interesantes a nivel de sonido. Yo recuerdo una que es de Brad Anderson, de Machinist, con Christian Bale, que era
with
a nivel
Christian
sonoro.
Bale. No sound. Sorry, we have no sound. We'll start with
Julio no teníamos la certeza de si podríamos venir al Festival de San Sebastián. Ahora solo nos queda pensar en cómo podemos llegar a San Sebastián. ¿Podemos llegar en tren? ¿En avión? ¿En en helicóptero. A pesar de todo, lo hemos conseguido. Bienvenidos al Festival Internacional de San Sebastián.
I hope you could hear me. This is a short introduction or presentation that we made exclusively for San Sebastian Festival with Cristina Mauri and the ARCS team. Let's start with the evolution of sound formats. As you may know, from the beginning of this story, when there was an audiovisual project, it should be as similar to reality as possible, as close to reality as possible. Since the beginning of the 20th century, professionals have tried to have a technology that covers the best image and the best sound. Until 1926 with Vitaphone, it was a reproduction in cinemas with an external disc that they tried to synchronize the pictures with this sound with this system. Let's see the history of sound cinema. This is the evolution of the most important titles regarding to sound. So, the Jazz Singer was the first sound movie. It was synchronized. Then Disney also, in 1933, Disney released the first project with the post-production of dialogues, effects, and music were done separately because at the beginning it was everything mixed up and done at the same time. At the same time in 1933 with King Kong was the first sound design for a film, real sound design for a specific film. This formula was used in the next years. Then we had Fantasia, and with Fantasound, CinemaScope, with the Robe. They wanted to have more than 2 channels on the screen. And they did it, but the results were not perfect. The first who started to have quadraphonic systems were Dynaco. It was a conversion, matrix conversion with stereo, and then there was phase conversion. 4 channels appeared. This was the precursor of the system I will mention later on, Dolby Stereo. Cinerama was another technology. IMAX, quadraphonic systems, Sensurround. Except for IMAX, these were obsolete. And then we'll concentrate on Dolby Stereo because it was the beginning of this technology. And still, we can see it being used now. Dolby Stereo uses 2 channels that are split into 4 with a left, center, right, and surround, but it's 2-channel coded. With Dolby Stereo, what followed was Dolby SR. It's an evolution. It codifies the signal with sound reduction, with noise reduction, because 35 millimeters were used, and it was longer, and it was more durable. So they used this system that evolved. It was used for domestic use. It was called Dolby Pro Logic. Some of the machines that we have at home, some of our devices still use Dolby Pro Logic. It does exactly the same as it did in cinema. It was a stereo conversion into 4 channels. In 1982, THX, it's not a sound system. It's a quality system in which you need more parameters so that this could be standardized. The type of loudspeakers, the type of screen, even the chairs were standardized, had to be specified, and even popcorn, why not? In 1990, Cinema Digital Sound, it tried to make conventional stereo disappear, and it used 5.1, that is 6 channels with no matrix. These channels are called discrete channels. Later on, Dolby Digital appeared. It was with us until 2012, in fact. It still exists, and we have copies with this Dolby Digital sound. It compresses the signal in order to introduce it in 35 millimeters project with a compression that is quite high. It's 12:1 compression ratio. This is the evolution. This is the story of sound until now, until 1992, and everything was channel mix. In order to understand what is that technology, a short description. We have the stereo sound, left and right. Then 5.1, it's Dolby Digital with 3 channels in front, 2 surrounds at the back, on the sides, and then 7.1, 2 surround channels at the back of the room. And today we have Dolby Atmos with these 4 loudspeakers on the ceiling. This is a brief introduction so that we can understand what are the physical channels where we send the audio signal directly to the channel. Later on, other systems emerged, DTS with less compression than Dolby Digital, but it included, well, it wasn't the sound incorporated into the picture. It's embedded with a time code, and you could play an external drive within the projection booth so that the sound could be heard. And compression was lower than Dolby Digital. Normally, if possible, this system was used. But it was difficult to consolidate. We made a lot of films with this, but it was more practical and it was easier than the Dolby Digital. In 1994, SDDS. This was short-lived, and there were front channels, LFE and R, and it was divided into 5 with 2 surrounds, plus LFE and the 5 front channel. And LFE is low frequency channel, and the front channels had 5 different sounds: center, center left, center right, and right, like here in Spain. Dolby Digital extended. This is the evolution of Dolby Digital 5.1 with 1 more channel. This lasted several years only because there was a complexity when encoding the surround signal at the back. DTS ES, this is an extreme surround, The stereo surround formula was used to divide it into 3 channels. Sonic whole overhead sound in 2002 was the first attempt for immersive sound that used the surround channels, which were sent to loudspeakers on the ceiling. It was the signal that was sent to the back and to the ceiling in the movie theater. In 2010, Dolby set 7.1. It was accompanied with a new playing systems, the Digital Cinema Package, DCP. This digital cinema package is what's been standardized in the whole world, and everybody uses this format. This is the reproduction sound for films, and this is real sound with no compression. What you get from the mix room is what you really hear in a movie theater. 3 front channels, 4 back channels, and 1 LC. We start with the beginning of immersive sound in 2011. I'd like to talk about ImSound. This is the project that was completely developed in Barcelona with a Spanish team. This is a semisphere in the cinema in order to have an immersive sensation, with a loudspeaker in the middle of the room, 4 in the rest of the room. This is Voice of God, that's the name of the loudspeaker. And then the surround speakers, 1 in the middle of the room, and then underneath, on the floor, and the impression is very immersive indeed. 23.1 channels with 23 sound outputs. With 23 channels, it's a lot. This system was bought by Dolby. The only film with this system, ImSound, was Lo Imposible, The Impossible, and it helped Dolby to sell this system. Danny Zacarias, Tarragó, and myself, we were the meta testers of the system, and we helped the engineering team to develop a new system for ImSound in Dolby. And Bayona, the filmmaker, gave us the possibility to do the mixing of his film with this format. Aura 3D uses 2 layers, underneath, and the center, and on top. Just on top of the surrounds, 1 on the ceiling, and the Voice of God. The system is 11.1. This system is installed in many cinemas. It works quite well, and it's made in Belgium. They have an engineering team. They're very powerful there. Another example, EO Sono. It was very successful at the time. It was the most complex and the most expensive system to be used in a cinema, because there are so many loudspeakers all over the place. The sound was very good, but it was so expensive. Then Dolby Atmos comes into the scene. Dolby Atmos has as a main structure 2 hemispheres, the left and the right hemispheres. The Voice of God just disappeared. And the surround part is here, all around. On the left, at the back, on the right, you see here the surround system, and on the ceiling, it's exactly. But if you look into this, you see the brain with 2 different hemispheres for hearing. There are no loudspeakers at the top. It's the first technology that uses objects and channels at the same time. I gave you the example of channels in order to understand where the channels are placed, are located in the cinema. Because we continue to work with channels at the moment, but now new difficulties appear in post-production. We have more problems because we work with channels and now we work with objects. As you see here, this shows a post-production tool with all the channels that we could have in the theater, in the cinema. This tool tells us where is the left, the central, and the right channel, and you can choose this sound channel and send it wherever you like. Now, different plugins appear. What's important is not the channels, but the position where the sound is located. Channels disappear and objects appear. This is an image of, it's a graph of the placement of objects with the tools that Dolby has just released in Dolby Atmos. So channels disappear and you can place the object in any place in the cinema and you can hear it, and you don't need to send it to a loudspeaker because the object can share between 4 to 5 loudspeakers at the same time. Let's get to the nitty-gritty. We can pick a mix of 5.1 discrete channels that we can send to each channel. These are sound files which are discrete. I pick a channel and a file and I can send it to this channel. The object has metadata information with render master unit that Dolby uses. You can read the sound and you can read the position. There's metadata reading system, so you could perfectly locate the position of the object wherever you like in the cinema because you use coordinates. So we have Atmos for cinema, and Dolby thought about why not using Atmos Home. This is one of the most essential tools in the market at the moment. Why? Because these are the channels, this part here, you see the objects. And when you do the master with your mix in Atmos Home, if you do a pre-configuration, you could transform this master and you could divide it into the number of materials that people ask us for broadcasting. So I'll try to explain myself. When we do a mix and a sound design, when we finish it, we need to get the final mix with dialogues, effects, and music, and we need to get the international band with no dialogues, and then we need to produce the pre-mixes, stems, dialogues, effects, and music. We have to produce it in 5.1 stereo or Atmos. That's what we are asked for. This tool, with just one recording, it gives you the possibility to get all these materials at the same time. Pre-masters, M and E, and the stems. These are the pre-mix group that you can have the re-render at the same time. So it's very fast. I'll explain what is the Atmos Home. Here we have 3 front channels, the surrounds on the sides and the top part on the ceiling. There's a little problem here. Our mix in Atmos Homes are very faithful. We do what production asks for, what the filmmaker asks for, and we are creative, but it's the only space where we can reproduce it in this way. When we have a content with Atmos Home, we send this content to the platform, and this platform, in turn, has its own broadcasting channels. So the platform sends the content to the streaming system, telephones, television, computers, and they send the Atmos file. But at home, if you don't have this setting, you cannot have the perfect sound. In time, I think people are going to be equipped, because this will be available in flats in your home, and people will have so many loudspeakers around in order to have this faithful sound. And now, full immersive. Everybody doing research, and people are looking for the best capture of sound. What is the full immersive quality? Well, full immersive in cinemas, in home, and in cinema theaters, this is already being used. It's very efficient, but the type of hearing or the type of sound that is normally used is specific to a content. But it depends on your installation. Normally, these people use full immersive with headphones. You can have a very powerful system at home with an X number of loudspeakers, because people have sound bars. It's more or less functional, but we want to go beyond. The best system is with headphones. Why? Because 50% of our youth, 50% of our youth, of our teenagers use headphones, and they use their phones, and they use their computers, and basically they hear through headphones. Okay, I'll show you 4 demos, and I'll explain how full immersive works. Okay, let's see the videos.
Los sistemas de sonido inmersivos llevan creándose varios años. Y como veis, o mejor dicho, como escucháis, el efecto es muy realista. Este sistema trata de recrear el punto de vista sonoro humano, creando un entorno inmersivo y natural. Hoy en día nos movemos arriba o abajo, de izquierda a derecha, con un móvil en la mano, con una tablet o con el portátil. Y la mayoría de veces, por no decir casi siempre, en el tren, en el avión, en un hotel o en casa. Así que utilizamos los auriculares para poder escuchar y atender mejor lo que vemos. Perdón, pero me están llamando. Sí. No, ahora no puedo hablar. Vale, sí, llámame, sí, más o menos, una hora o así. Muy bien, va, gracias, hasta luego. Os queremos enseñar cómo podemos interactuar con este sistema dentro de vuestras producciones y crear experiencias para el espectador mucho más inmersivas y realistas. Oigamos unos ejemplos de cómo podemos interactuar en el mundo audiovisual con este sistema.
La única urgencia que Es la primera vez que el muro de Berlín deja de existir, de hecho, para los ciudadanos de la Alemania. El 9 de noviembre de 1989.
¿Hay alguien en la casa?
Jack, ¿qué pasa?
Jane está fuera.
Con este sistema estoy a punto de comerte. Y aunque creas que estoy aquí, ¡estoy aquí!
Vale, pues estos son un poquito los ejemplos de
So
cómo,
these were a few
estamos trabajando con
examples
este sistema.
to show
Partimos de
how
una
we are
base
working with the
binaural
system.
en el cual estamos generando
We
a
are
partir de esa escucha
generating
binaural unos
from that
filtros
neural
propios
listening some filters
para poder
so
generar un
as to be able
contenido
to generate
lo más
contents,
inmersivo posible.
immersive contents,
En
as much as
principio,
possible.
lo que nos estamos dando cuenta
What
con la parte
we
más
are
inmersiva a
realizing
través de
with these
auriculares es
immersive
que
aspects with the headphones
necesita
is that
de utilizarse
we need to
no en todo el proyecto,
use
sino necesita
not all
utilizarse en
through
varios
the
puntos
project,
determinados
but
para
they
que tenga
need to be used
realmente
at certain
su
points,
efecto, ¿no?
these
Es
headphones,
decir,
so
si
as to
nosotros
obtain the right effect.
tenemos un contenido
If we
completamente durante
have
todo el rato
contents
inmersivo, al
which are
final
fully
lo
immersive
detectamos
all the
como
time,
algo
then that
real,
will
¿no?
be
No
detected
lo
as
detectamos
something
como
real. It
un
won't
extra,
be
un extra más,
detected
¿no? Nos
as
acostumbramos
just one
rápidamente, el
more
oído humano
extra
se
element.
acostumbra
Our
rápidamente a ese tipo de
human
escucha.
ear will get used to that
Entonces,
type of listening. we are still researching, trying to know more. We would like to create these filters, which are those that will give us that color, so as to say, that depth, that sound depth, that immersive aspect, because these filters, they already exist on the market, being used with other plugins, such as you can see, and these filters are standard filters. So the idea is to create a unique filter with the best immersion possible, where you'll be able to detect that immersive part, both in terms of distancing and positioning. So that is what we are researching into. In this sector, in the immersive sector, we see that virtual reality is becoming more and more important. We also know that the immersive aspect from the visual point of view is already very well done, but we still have things to improve from the sound point of view when we speak about these contents, because as you can see, in the rear part of these immersive goggles, the loudspeakers are very small. Here they are. And the ideal thing would be to use headphones, just as here, with these goggles, with these glasses, we have these little headphones on the side. So we're trying to imitate that highly immersive sensation, where the image is very immersive and the sound still has to be improved. The cinematographic part in movie theaters is already there. If you are going to be generating immersive contents, you will be able to appreciate that and enjoy it in movie theaters. So this is the first part of my presentation. I don't know, AC, how are we doing with time? Well, tell me. I don't have any feedback, so maybe should I continue a bit more? Yeah, sure. You have 20 minutes, 20 more minutes. Perfect. So, basically, let me tell you now a bit about post-production. I will be giving you some examples. In order to do real post-production, of course, we need to be working with the dialogues, with the effects to generate special effects. We need environments, backgrounds. So layer after layer, music if it is necessary, and then we do the final mixing. This work method is the usual standard working method that all the professionals in the sector are using. What about the sound, the immersive sound here? Well, it will depend on the tools being used. And I will be sharing with you different sound post-production examples. Matar el Padre by Mark Hall, a Movistar series. And let's see how we work and how we are able to create and generate the final mix.
Valeria, nos vamos. ¿A dónde? No preguntes, esto se va a poner muy feo, ¿no lo ves? A ver.
Y precisamente sobre el miedo, hay un poema que le he escrito a Carla y que me gustaría recitaros. ¿Qué es eso?
Un chubasquero, ¿qué te parece que es? A ver, mete la mano, vete, yo te lo pongo, yo te ayudo. A ver.
Una noche de mucho frío, te quitaste el abrigo y reías. Una tarde el sol quemaba.
Esto es el sonido directo en bruto que nos llega a nosotros.
This is the sound that we are getting.
when we start to do the post-production,
este sería el resultante
the
de
raw
cómo
sound.
quedarían los
And this
diálogos
is the
después de un proceso
result
de
after, having editing the dialogues,
vamos.
after mixing.
No preguntes, esto se va a poner muy feo, ¿no lo ves? A ver.
Y precisamente sobre el miedo habla el poema que le he escrito a Carla y que me gustaría recitaros.
¿Qué es
A ver
esto?
si esto
¿Un
no se
chubasquero?
vuela.
¿Qué te parece que es?
Un
A ver,
día.
mete la mano.
Un día.
Yo te lo pongo, yo te ayudo.
Una noche de mucho frío, te quitaste el abrigo y reías. Una tarde el sol quemaba.
¡Hostia!
Tranquilos. Vamos a recogerlo.
Tapa al niño. Cuidado con el niño, que no se moje el niño. Venga,
Max, ven aquí,
vamos,
ayúdame con
vamos.
esto.
Corre, no te pares.
Luego haríamos la capa de
Then there is a
pasos
further
y
layer
notas de efecto
with
sala, que se
steps,
llama, así coloquialmente entre los equipos de sonido,
steps and
foleyes,
clothing. Those are the
en
follies.
inglés. Iríamos a otra capa de efectos sala, que
So
serían los efectos
another
que llamamos
layer,
sincrónicos.
now synchronous effects.
Luego añadiríamos los efectos
Then we
especiales.
would be adding special effects.
Avanzo un poquito porque hasta aquí no
Let's
aparecen.
move a bit forward.
Luego una capa de ambientes.
Then environments, a further layer. Atmospheres.
Luego otra capa de fondos.
Then backgrounds.
Vientos. Aquí tendríamos la suma total de los
Here
efectos.
we have the total effects, all of them together.
Y aquí la mezcla final, que es lo que podemos escuchar dentro de la
After the full effects, the final mix.
He trabajado mucho
Valeria,
para sentirme bien.
nos vamos.
¿A dónde?
No preguntes, esto se va a poner muy feo, ¿no lo ves? A ver.
Y precisamente sobre el miedo habla el poema que le he escrito a Carla y que me gustaría recitaros.
¿Qué es esto?
¿Un chubasquero? ¿Qué te parece que es? A ver, mete la mano. Yo te lo pongo, yo te ayudo.
Una noche de mucho frío, te quitaste el abrigo y reías. Una tarde el sol quemaba. Tranquilos, tranquilos.
Cuidado con él, no se mojen.
¡No me empujes!
Pues básicamente,
Well, basically,
esta sería
that's it.
la
That
presentación.
was my presentation.
Esta sería la presentación del sistema. Entonces, no sé si AC, if you
That
want to
is
do
the
some
system.
questions.
It is so fascinating, Mark. I was really watching this and I was like, oh my God, I see all these layers. It's the first time for me that I see such a fantastic thing. I'm sure in the audience we have great people into sound that were already advanced, but for me, it was already very interesting. So thank you very much for the presentation at any case. A fantastic review you've been doing. And maybe I would like to ask you, like right now, who do you think is the pioneer in sound in cinema right now? What does the newest technology look and sound like? Where do you see the future happening in your field?
Wow, es un pelín complicado. Está
That's a
claro
bit
que
difficult to answer.
en Estados Unidos,
In the US,
es la
in
meca
the
del
United
cine, también es
States,
la
of
meca
course,
a
that
nivel de
is the
criterios
mecca in
técnicos
terms of
y
cinema,
de
and
sonido
also
sobre
in
todo.
terms of technical aspects and sound.
Visualizar el futuro,
They are the biggest experts. So
no lo tengo muy claro todavía.
the future,
No sé si
I
os
do
pasa
not know
evidentemente
what to
por
tell you.
la parte
I know
inmersiva,
that
está
the
clarísimo,
immersive
¿no? Pero
aspect has to be there. That is only evident.
se está trabajando ahora
But
en
people are working
cómo
a
el
lot
sonido tiene que ser,
on
es decir, qué
how
calidad
should the
tiene que tener
sound
el
be,
sonido.
what
Normalmente ahora
should be
estamos trabajando
sound's
a
quality.
48
Now we
kilohercios,
are working at
24 bits
48
de resolución,
kilohertz,
pero ya
24
en
bits,
Estados
that is the
Unidos y
resolution, but
algunos
in the
profesionales aquí en
US,
España están
and some
trabajando a
professionals here
96
are
kilohercios
working with
o
96
32
kilohertz
bits
or
o
32
64
bits
bits.
or
Es decir, lo que
64
están
bits.
implementando
So what
es la
they are
mejora
implementing
sonora, ¿no?
is
Es
that
decir, de
sound
cómo los
improvement,
ambientes tienen que sonar, pero
how
a nivel
the
cualitativo. Es como
atmosphere, how the sound should
cuando
be.
escuchabas un disco en un CD o lo
When we
escuchabas
used
en
to
un vinilo,
listen
¿no? Entonces
a
se está
CD,
buscando
and
la
you know the
máxima
difference comparing
resolución
a vinyl,
sonora.
so they want to have
Eso
the maximum
es
sound
lo
resolution.
que se está
That
trabajando mucho
is
ahora. A
what people
nivel
are
futuro,
researching into.
yo
In
creo que
terms of the future, I think
el futuro
that
sería que todo el mundo
in
tuviera
the
Atmos
future,
Home en casa.
we all should have
En tu propio
Atmos Home
apartamento, que tú
in
tuvieras
our
en tu escuchar
apartments.
para que la
We
gente
should
pudiera
all have
disfrutar de este
Atmos
proceso.
Home so as to be able to enjoy this process.
Before I ask about La Casa, because I'm very interested to see what's happening in the house, I mean, I can try also a little bit of Spanish, but
No, sorry.
¿cómo impacta la tecnología de
What is the
sonido
impact of
actual
sound
en la
technology
película?
on the film. We have directors, the filmmaker. Are they paying attention? Are they paying more and more attention to this? And are they creating content based upon sound and technological developments? I think, yes, many filmmakers, many directors, they know about technology. They know about these technologies. They know a lot about image technology. They know much better about post-production methods. But in terms of sound technology, they know a bit less. And of course, there are many exceptions, but when they have a scenario, a script for them, it is only evident how they want their characters to look like, but they do not think about how they want the characters to sound, how do they want them to be heard. Maybe they can have the music in mind, dialogues in mind, but sound technology is something that they do not have in mind. Directors. And I think that is something that little by little is going to change. We professionals, we need to sell producers and directors these technologies so that they can know about them and so that they can use and take advantage of them. J. Bayona, for example, he is an expert. He knows a lot about that. Jaume Balagueró also. He knows a lot about these post-production tools. Amenabar as well. They know more and more about these systems. And they are able to use them. But they need a bit of help. We need to help them. And talking again about systems, please tell us about the automation in terms of mixing. Are mixings automated? And I am thinking about artificial intelligence, AI. I think that is becoming more and more important in terms of sound design, right? AI, artificial intelligence, in terms of sound, no, we are not using artificial intelligence. What do you mean? Sound design needs to have somebody providing his or her own creativity when doing this sound design. So maybe we can end up automating certain elements such as the dialogues or the atmospheres. But in terms of the process, yes, those technical processes can be automated, but we still do not have a robot with ears which is able to listen and to determine what is good and what is best. That would be the part of AI you are referring to. Robots have no ears yet. This automation only takes place when we have a technical process, but then when we need to hear, to listen, AI is not being used yet because that required that creative emotional component or sensorial component, which it still doesn't have. Very well. Let's go back to La Casa. Let's go back home. What can you tell us about immersive sound in home cinema? Well, that can end up being marvelous. If you can have speakers and loudspeakers on the ceiling and then in the rear part, you know, with this surround approach, if you can have those loudspeakers, you will be able to enjoy the work having been done by us professionals. But the problem is that you will either need a very big space, a very big room, a mini movie theater, and immersive sound technologies we have today. If you do not have that, then you need a sound bar. You know, sound bars which have their own channels, but they, you know, that is reflected on the ceiling so that you have a much more immersive feeling or sensation. But I do not have that at home. I don't have it. So
I'm not using that, basically because I can enjoy it at my work, you know, in my studio. Do you know Lofelt, this company, or Philbelt?
In English a little bit for the audience, you know, it's a bracelet to have, and it gives you, it's immersive, right? You listen to the music, and then you have this bracelet, and then you feel the beats in your body. It's really interesting. I mean, I as I tried it, it's not new. I mean, it's a couple of years ago. As I tried it, I remember I was like, oh, I will never listen to anything else because I have the impression the sound is too flat otherwise. It was giving another dimension. I'm thinking also of products like Feelbelt. I think it's a German product also made in next to Berlin, where I think it's a belt, and the same, it gives you a new dimension. So how do you feel that could fit in the cinema sound industry? Can we see cinemas with maybe seats organized with field belt? I mean, we have this in VR already, right? With how do you see this?
Claro, o sea, todo lo que sea improve o todo lo que sea mejorar una
well, all the immersive improvements will be welcome. But at the end of the day, you will have the goggles for virtual reality, the headphones, the bracelet, the belt.
Robocop.
And yes, and you will be Robocop. For me, it's okay. But I didn't test it. You told me about that. I saw the website. There's a vibrational belt with small loudspeakers. Very small speakers that are embedded on the belt. For me, it's viable, it's feasible, but the content is important. In order to enjoy content, you need time. Sometimes people don't take into account what young people do. The youngsters have headphones and the smartphone only. So people today don't want to mess up with many devices. Just headphones and the small smartphone. But we sound professionals, we want big screens, the most immersive sound, the belts and so on. But we need to educate the world with this technology. We speak about the future. And there is a fusion and the merger between the game industry and cinema industry. The Black Mirror interactive episodes is an example. What about the effects of interactivity and the multiplication of new possibilities? What do you think about that? And what's the implication for sound design? Yes, we are writing down a project here in LAX in our company. We have a small project. It's a virtual reality cinema. There's a part that is quite clear. We know the sound design has to be immersive. And then there's another part that is not clear to us yet. Well, we'll have the gaming style in the future, and EA. It's gaming more than cinema, I think. More than 120 years, we started to watch movies, and people still see a screen with dialogues, and people enjoy movies with good music, and that's all for many people. But we didn't do the switch, the shift. There's a shift of paradigm. That's cinema, and that will be cinema in the future, even though you use EA goggles, you'll have virtual reality, VR will be all over the place. But you know that's not cinema, that's different. So we need more steps to make the difference between real cinema and VR. And sometimes it will merge, and maybe one day it will be more connected. What is the most important thing in your work? What is the question that is most important for you in the industry sector? We need more content, production of content. Then people will have the resources, enough money to make movies, to make content. In my circle, in my professional world, with sound professionals, what is the question? Well, you need to be awake, to be open to new technologies.
Está claro que lo que está más lo que es más importante ahora
now,
a nivel
what
de
is
un contenido
key
profesional para producirse en
for
audio, estamos hablando
professional
de Dolby Atmos Home,
material,
¿no? Que
we're talking
sería
of
lo que
Dolby
todo el mundo
Atmos,
piensa,
and everybody's thinking about that.
Sobre todo, y estoy hablando de plataformas,
I'm talking about
Netflix, Amazon,
platforms,
Movistar,
HBO,
incluso,
Movistar,
que están haciendo todo el
Amazon,
contenido
and
ya,
Netflix,
bueno,
all the content,
Apple, todo
even
contenido en Atmos
Apple,
Home, ¿no? Entonces
and
ese es
everything is
el
done in
foco,
Atmos Home. That's the
direccionado, ¿no?
focus now, Atmos Home.
Yo creo que hay que ir poco a poco buscando,
But little by little, we need to find more. We need to help platforms too. We need to know what is the technology that each one is developing in order to get to a common ground. If we go back to the history of sound movies, everybody's done its own system, but Dolby is the winner at the end of the day. So we'll need to see all the inputs to meet with channels, with HBO, with Amazon, with Netflix, whoever, to explain what's the future. And they have their own R&D departments, and they need to find new products so that people can hear them. I like future and technology, and I want that. My last question. What would you like to see in the new sound? What do you imagine for the future, for in surround sound? What would you like to have that you don't have yet in your professional work? There's one very important thing, and now we have a handicap. When we listen to immersive sound, we'll have a major handicap. The front area doesn't exist. There's no sound in front of you. You just have the sound in your ears. You have the sides and then the back area, but nothing in front. For me, it's the front part that lacks sound. Normally, we have these headsets and we have stereophonic hearing, and we need something that surrounds you, but we need the frontal area. When you use pictures, if you have a picture in front of you, which is normal, your head goes to the center in front. But if you don't have any picture or any screen, everything is happening behind you and laterally on the sides. And that's the technology gap for us now. And we need to discover how to introduce front sound. How can I imagine future in the sound sector? Like Years and Years, the series. They had a mask. We need little speakers here, somewhere hanging over our heads. I don't know.
It's okay. We will see for sure. I mean, and probably there are some things we cannot predict. Well, thank you very much for this conversation, Mark. I hope you bear with me with my French accent when I'm speaking Spanish, and my Spanish is not actually that good.
No, it's perfect. Your Spanish is better than my English.
Well, I did not have the translation to hear you here, but I understood everything. So thank you very much to make this also understandable for me as your moderator. It was a great pleasure. I'm fascinated. I mean, I love I think that sound really makes 50% of the film for sure, right? It is, I believe, I'm coming from a musician family, and I believe that sound, voice, which is vibrating in us, is where the emotion is the strongest, right? I mean, of course, we see the eyes and etc.
Yeah.
Of course, it is impressive, but what makes it vibrate, you know?
Yeah, it's the emotional part. It's the emotional part. It's
exactly. So thank you very much. I hope that the audience also really enjoyed this masterclass with you. Thank you, Mark. See you soon again. I hope I want to come next year to San Sebastian. Yes, you know, in real life.
I've been in San Sebastian 4 years ago, every year, and it's bad luck for us with the situation to not
next year.
come again. Yeah, next year I think.
Next year we'll meet in person. Thank you so much, Mark.
Okay.
And now I'm going to give the final words. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Yo quería agradecer a todo el equipo técnico que hay detrás, a José.
I'd like to thank my technical team, Jose, and all the people working in Tabacalera. Thank you for doing this session. It wasn't easy.
And for us, well, it's very short. It's just to say thank you for everything. I think it was a great event into the future. And the most important thing now is to announce that the Zinemaldia Startup Challenge awards will be announced around 8 o'clock. And it takes place tonight at on the festival TV. So don't miss it so that we know who wins. We did not have any projects about the sound, but maybe next time, right?
Okay, I want to bring next year one project like this.
Exactly, exactly. And bring also like girls in the sound and tech system so that we have more diversity, and then we will bring them to San Sebastian and it will be all great. Anyway, thank you to everyone, and see you soon again, I hope in real life or to a next film festival, probably about sound and images making the future. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye.